to the Hockey One weekly wrap. Thanks to JDH, supporting hockey from grassroots to grandstands. My name is Liam Ellison. Joined alongside me is Kin Smith. Let's go through it, Kin. Starting off with Friday night in Tassie. A couple of big games there.
Certainly, the Perth Thundersticks travelled down to Tassie and it was a dominant defensive display from the men's Tigers team. Perth Thundersticks objectively dominated the game from a statistical perspective, penalty corners, opportunities, circle entries, but it was their defensive unit led by some of their experienced stars, and then Jeremy Hayward just making the most of the two penalty stroke opportunities. Perth will look to bounce back next week.
A flurry of shootouts as well in round 3, and on Saturday night there was 2 in Canberra.
Certainly, so a couple of shootouts. One had to decide the men's game between the Adelaide Fire and the Canberra Chill. After I was incredibly impressed with the Adelaide Fire. Came back Fraser here, there, trying to almost bring his team back into the game, but the Canberra Chill just too good. We also saw the first goals of Ravinder Pal Singh from the penalty corner. So a great game to watch, had to come right down to the wire, and what a display of goalkeeping across the whole weekend as well.
And then we saw records fall as well on the Sunday at Sydney Olympic Park. 11 on the board from the New South Wales Pride.
Well, it was comprehensive, it was dominant, and any other adjective that you want to use, but it was just sublime to watch. New South Wales Pride at their best. Hockey Club Melbourne did their best, but created enough chances to change that scoreline, but it was the Pride at their best. They are the benchmark.
It blew out, didn't it? 4-2 was the scoreline halfway through the third quarter, and then they piled the goals on in style, the New South Wales Pride. Let's look as well at the ladder at the end of round 3 in the men's. What do you like here, Kim?
Well, I think we see almost what we expected to see. The opportunity next week is for the Brisbane Blades to come back. They'll play their third game after having the bye, but some excellent clashes coming up. I'm particularly looking forward to the Tassie Tigers and New South Wales Pride game.
Absolutely, 1 versus 2, the Pride sitting pretty on top. Let's go to the women's comp as well, and Friday night in Tassie, the Perth Thundersticks 4-1 victory.
Certainly they keep on keeping on and look like a team that can go deep into the finals. The Tassie Tigers, you see flashes of what they can do. Their young stars running, carrying through the midfield, but they just lack, I think, a little bit of that top end as they develop. So a great game from them. This was a fantastic finish from Millington, but the Perth Thundersticks just too good.
Well, we alluded to it earlier. It was a duo of penalty shootouts on the Saturday night in Canberra, and they also got the job done, the Chill.
This one was incredibly close. 2 awesome great goals, especially the return of Brooke Paris and her great goal to start off the game. Very close towards the end with this shootout. What a finish by Evans there with the spin. 2-3, the Canberra Chill continue their rise up and starting to put together some nice games.
Well, there's one team remaining in the JDH Hockey One that is 3-0, Hockey Club Melbourne. They had to do it the hard way.
Yeah, this was a grind from start to finish. A hot day in Sydney, 30 degrees, and it was Hockey Club Melbourne that opened the scoring with Olivia Downs before this levelled it up. This went all the way to the shootout, and this was a game of the highest order. The tactical changes, the skills of the players. Amy Lawton there with a brilliant finish, but it was HC Melbourne that ended up victors in the shootout, and it was in no small part thanks to the heroics of Rachel Lynch and Joanne Peters. Right here, you see right down to the death. She talked about how she dragged it too far out, but managed to reel it back in.
That really was a game of the highest order, that one. Let's look at the round 3 ladder as well, and no surprises there. HC Melbourne up top.
Certainly, but I'm also looking for the Brisbane Blaze and the New South Wales Pride to rocket up over the next few weeks. I think it's going to be incredibly tight at the top of the ladder.
And of course, the One Hockey Club, the aggregate between the men's and women's competitions.
Yeah, so we actually have a tie separated only by a goal difference. The New South Wales Pride and the Perth Thundersticks. HC Melbourne also bringing in the 3rd position there, but this I think will start to unfold over the next few weeks. But the New South Wales Pride's dominant goals for and their goal difference is going to be a difference maker towards the end.
It's starting to take shape, the One Hockey Cup. Let's look at the schedule as well for round 14.
Brisbane Blaze, both the men's and women's games against the Tassie Tigers in Brisbane, Queensland State Hockey Centre. What a spectacle they put on last time. I think that's going to be one of the games of the round before we see if the New South Wales Pride can continue their winning ways against the Canberra Chill, who are, I think, starting to find some form. Shayon Thierry on the men's side has them doing very well. Matt Cook has done some brilliant things with that women's side too. So a huge weekend of hockey coming up.
And of course, all live and exclusive on 7 Sport, your new home of hockey in Australia. That's all we've got time for. The Hockey One Weekly Wrap this week. Thanks to JDH, of course, supporting Australian hockey from grassroots to grandstands. We'll see you next time.